Hey guys, Mike for Sim Racing 604, and this is my Thrustmaster EVO Racing 32R leather wheel. This is more than just a new wheel from Thrustmaster. This represents kind of a new sub-ecosystem within the Thrustmaster lineup. So, very interesting product. It's got a lot of cool features, so let's get into my review. Alright, so as mentioned, this is my Thrustmaster EVO Racing 32R leather wheel, and in the interest of disclosure, I will let you know that this wheel was sent to me for free for review by Thrustmaster. No money changed hands, I don't offer affiliate links, and the words and opinions are my own. So with that out of the way, as I told you, this is kind of a different direction for Thrustmaster to go. So the EVO Racing lineup is exactly that. It's going to be an array or a lineup of products under Thrustmaster that allow you to customize different options. So this is the 32R leather wheel. And if we flip it around here, we can kind of take a look at what we can expect. So up here, we have sort of the most interesting piece of it. This is the hub, and we have hubs from other companies. Fanatec has one, and I'm sure other companies do as well. And then the wheel that goes onto that or mounts to that. And what that does is it gives you different wheel options. So previously, like if you saw my review of their 488 GT3 wheel, that is a one-piece assembly. So you're stuck with that 488 GT3 wheel for as long as you own it. You don't get any options to customize it for all intents and purposes. But if we flip this around here, you can get a little preview of what's to come. Currently, the 32R leather is the only one on offer, but as you can see, there are going to be different options here for mounted wheels. In addition, there will be different options for the shift paddles. So again, sort of a sub-ecosystem, different direction for Thrustmaster, so very interesting concept. And truth be told, this box is empty right now. I've been driving with the wheel for a little bit, getting used to it, and checking out some of the features, and there's a lot to cover. So let's go ahead, bring the wheel onto the table, and I'll cover some of the basic features before I deep dive into some of the customization options. Okay, so here is my 32R leather wheel from the EVO Racing lineup. So this comes in at $299 US and will be for sale in just a few weeks. And some of the basic features here to cover. This is a 32 centimeter diameter wheel, 320 mil, if you will. All leather, stitched leather, very soft to the touch. We have, I believe it is 9 buttons on offer here. They are numbered. And then we have these 4 rotary encoders at the bottom here. And this POV hat up here as well. So yeah, it's kind of asymmetrical in that there's 6 buttons up top, 2 over here, and then just 1 over here because they wanted to keep room for the POV hat, and then these rotary encoders. All the buttons feel very nice, good weight to them. And then if we flip it around here, I have the attachment on here to connect to a T818 wheel, but the Thrustmaster does also include in the box a different quick connect, so it can go onto your legacy wheels like the TSPC Racer, T300, TGT2, that kind of thing. So it's good to know there's backward compatibility too. So if you're interested in the EVO Racing lineup, you're not locked to the T818, which is great. And then of course we have LED lights across the top here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle, and then 2 flanking them, and then can't really see it, but there's a couple of buttons in between here, and we'll get into what those do very shortly. Looking again at the rear of the wheel, you can see we have these large paddles here. These are aluminum, I would guess, some sort of metal, not carbon fiber is the point. Magnetic shifters, not particularly loud, that's good. Then they have standoffs here. You can probably see just a little bit of that. They are stood off. And then they have additional mounting holes here as well. So a bit of customization possibility there. And that is pretty much it for the basic features. Also in box are some additional stickers. So you can change the color of the button numbering. Those are included. And then I should also mention on the front here, these dials are labeled, or encoders rather, labeled E1, E2, E3, and E4. So it's not going to say traction control, ABS, that kind of thing. They're labeled as E1 through 4 for some reason. And similarly, the buttons are just numbered. They don't say pit limiter or anything like that. Interesting. Well, sorry. This one happens to say limit. This one down here, engine. This one down here, drink. So I don't know why, of all things, they would put drink. many times as I press that, no one brings me a beer. But yeah, of all the button labels they could choose, drink was one of them. But the ones up top are actually not labeled, and nor do stickers come with it that could allow you to label. So interesting design choice there. But overall, good ergonomics to this wheel. And of course, this is metal across the front here. And then we have two screws or bolts down here, 2 flanking, and then 6 in the middle here to attach the hub to the wheel. So again, you'll be able to at some point buy different wheels. I'm thinking my Thrustmaster Sparko, the square wheel, I'm thinking it might be able to attach here because it looks like a similar bolt pattern. I'm looking at it on the wall right now. It seems to be a similar bolt pattern. I don't know if it would fit exactly, but anyway, the plan eventually is that you'll be able to back these screws off, pull this round wheel off, and put different wheels on there. So very interesting. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the more in-depth features of this 32R leather. So a few things to cover here for customization and sort of the more detailed features. Again, these paddle shifters, you have the ability through these standoffs to set it out. So the standoffs come installed. You can take those off, which will pull the paddle closer to you. So it just so happens that I have very large hands, so it's no problem for me to reach over and shift. But if you ordered this wheel and it felt like you're reaching, if you have smaller hands, you could pull those standoffs out and then have the paddle that much closer to you. Additionally, the extra screw holes back here allow you to shift the paddle out about 1/4 of an inch, I would say, and that would give you, the ability to shift from here basically instead of reaching around. So yeah, that's a cool option. These buttons up here, you may notice that they are stood off, and there is actually a little screw in there, and you can put a little Allen key in there and adjust the height. And then if we look across the top here at this LED bar, I mentioned there was 5 LED lights in the middle and 2 flanking, 2 buttons in the middle. And what you can do with this, the way this is intended to work effectively is the 5 in the middle are the tachometer, and then the 2 on the outside work for things like flags or pit limiter, that kind of thing. And you can actually set brightness here. So if you hold down one of these 2 sort of discrete black buttons here, and then use the E buttons, it won't work because it's not powered up. But if you use the E buttons, you can actually set different modes and brightness to those LEDs. So pretty cool. You get to make those adjustments on the fly. So I do love the fact that they do give a level of customization to these tachometer bars. Pretty cool. A lot of companies do that through software. Thrustmaster has chosen to go a different way and make the adjustment on the wheel. So very interesting. But yeah, overall, great looking wheel and a good amount of customization, some pretty interesting features here. So let's go ahead and get this on my T818 and do some testing. All right, so just before we get testing the EVO Racing 32R leather, I just did want to show you some of the customization options. So I mentioned these 2 button clusters at the top of the wheel could be raised and lowered. I just wanted to show you what that looks like. So you can use the included Allen key and just back it off slightly, just reduce the tension, and then it can move up and down kind of in a channel. It's not a huge movement, but you do get a little bit of play there to make that perhaps a little bit easier to reach in your standard position, depending on the size of your hands. So that's kind of interesting. And then I also mentioned that there was customization options for these LED lights. So if I go to full rev in game, you can see it's turning blue when I reach the limiter. However, if I hold down, I'll try and make this friendly for the camera. If I hold down this little button here for about 1 second, you can see it goes into programming mode. Hopefully that's coming through. And then we have a couple of options. If I flip E4, you can see the LED moves from the blue to the red. So let's cancel out of program mode. And you can see now when I reach the rev limiter, it turns red. So yeah, I don't know which I prefer. I'll leave it as red for now. There's also another customization option here. So again, holding this button for about 1 second goes into programming mode. Then using the E3, I don't know how well this is going to come through on camera, but there are different brightness levels here that you can set. So you can get that to your liking. If you typically drive in a very dark environment, you could probably keep that turned down. But yeah, that's just some of the customization options there. All right, so I have a few things programmed. I think it's off screen right now. Unfortunately, yes, it is. But just in the corner of my screen there, I am making tweaks to traction control and ABS, and they feel fantastic. These encoders, not the ABS and traction control, the encoders feel fantastic. Everything's good there. These can be pressed, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. I do also have a couple of buttons mapped. Again, it's off screen, but I'm using the POV hat to navigate my in-car menu. So that's another thing you can do. You can program them however you want. But I would think, whoops, and the 1 mark limiter I have for a pit limiter, of course. So yeah, you can customize the buttons to be whatever you want, of course. I have just chosen some basic functions here, just to give you a demonstration of how things are working. And yeah, so now I'll talk a bit about the comfort here. It's kind of hard to review wheels, quite frankly. It's among the tougher things to review because you're going strictly by feel. You have to describe the less than exciting world of what your hands are experiencing on a steering wheel. So broadly, I would say the first thing you notice is the comfort and ergonomics. Everything is wonderfully soft on the leather wheel and easily reached by my thumb. I don't know if this will come through in the video or not. Yeah, sure, it should come through. But I can easily reach because, for example, if I wanted my DRS to be mapped to button 5 here, you can see how easily, hopefully you can see that, how easily that can be reached with my thumb. And conversely, push the pass over here can easily be reached by that thumb. You got to reach for an encoder. They're nice and tall, easy to find, so no issues there with ergonomics. And again, tremendous levels of comfort. By the way, I'm running this on my T818, and it's reminded me just how much I love this wheelbase. And I did a couple updates when I was setting up for this review, and I don't know if it's the update or if I'd just forgotten how good the 818 feels, but this is a phenomenal wheelbase. I'm actually somewhat motivated to re-review it. I'm enjoying it so much. Just feels fantastic. And this is 32R leather is a nice compliment. And again, those bright LEDs catching my attention, telling me when to shift. Really, really good option. I can use the light bar on the T818 as well to kind of supplement it. But definitely the LEDs on this 32R leather are the brightest lights in front of my screen. So they are the ones I would spot most commonly. And yeah, just a great feeling wheel, great looking wheel. No issues with comfort or ergonomics. I guess one thing I should have shown you is how easy it is to get on and off using the quick release system. That's more of a function of the wheelbase than the wheel, but just the same, I can give a quick demo. We'll wrap this lap up. I think I've said all I need to say about the 32R leather and the driving experience. It's comfortable, everything can be reached easily, the LEDs are nice and bright, sizing is perfect. The shift paddles, I should mention as well, also feel very good. They're not particularly loud. You guys are probably, if you watched my videos before, you're probably used to the big smacks of my Moza gear. I do love Moza Racing, but they do have quite loud shift paddles. And this 32R leather, I'm not even using the damping pads, but already it's very quiet. So really nicely manufactured piece of gear and no concerns whatsoever. So let's round the corner here, go across the start finish line to record our embarrassingly slow lap in the GT Open class. Pull over here when it is safe. Shut the engine off, please, Lewis. There we go. So yeah, just the quick release system is just this latch right here. Then you can pull it off and replace it with whatever wheel you want. And then again, on. So just can't say enough good things about the driving experience with the 32R leather. All right, let's get back to the table, and I'll give my good, neutral, and bad about the Thrustmaster EVO Racing 32R leather wheel. All right, so to wrap things up here with my review of the Thrustmaster EVO Racing 32R leather wheel, I'm going to talk about good, neutral, and bad, things I like, things I'm okay with, and things I don't like about this wheel. Starting off, of course, with the good. First thing I like is the comfort, the ergonomics. It's really great. I love the feeling of this wheel. It's shipped from the factory exactly how I would want it. Exactly where my fingers rest is where sort of my optimal strength is for shifting. And it feels fantastic. The leather is nice and comfortable. The buttons are all nicely within reach, and you know, it's a bit hard with the camera on there, but when I'm in my normal driving position, it's not a big deal at all to reach over and hit one of the buttons for DRS or push to pass or anything like that. So great ergonomics and you know, great comfort as well. So overall, of course, that's something you look for in a wheel, and this one scores highly in that category. And of course, we talk about the customization options. I mentioned this ships from the factory in a configuration that works well for my big hands, but if you don't have big hands like me, you can, of course, move the paddle out. You can move the paddle closer to you. You can adjust the LED bar, adjust the brightness of the LED bar. You can change it, you know, from red light for peak RPM or blue light or whatever. So the onboard customization options are quite cool on this wheel. So I like that. And of course, relating to that is the fact that this is the first in an ecosystem. So you'll be able to, if you don't like this round wheel, you can go for a different wheel in time. It's a shame it didn't ship in time, but yeah, eventually you will be able to buy different wheels to go with this. So if the round wheel just isn't for you, there's going to be other options, which I really like. So going the ecosystem route, I think, is a fantastic idea because, you know, if you don't want to buy a whole new hub, if you like the hub, if you like having magnetic shifters and the LED bar and that kind of thing, but you don't need it to be distinct between your wheels, this is great. Just turn a few screws and swap it out. So the ecosystem strategy I really like. And also we talk about price, $299 US for this. Is it revolutionary in its pricing? No, but it's solid. I mean, my CS wheel for EVO Racing is one of my most used wheel, probably the most used wheel I have in my collection, and it's just a standard all-purpose, multi-purpose round wheel. It comes in at $279, and Moza is known for their value. So to be only $20 more, which with a few extra features, I think is really good. I think they've done well rather. So yeah, $299. The price gets a thumbs up from me. Again, it's not revolutionary. It's not like this is going to change the game with its price, but solid price for what it is. And yeah, I'm happy with where it's at. And also in the good category, we talk about the weight of the buttons. These feel really nice and good firm rotary encoders as well. POV hat feels solid. So again, if you're scaling this forward and thinking you're going to add different wheels, you want the hub, the main part of it, to feel good in all respects. And it really does. Like, the paddles have a good weight to them. The buttons feel good. The rotary encoders feel good. So everything's there. It feels nice. It feels high quality. So good button weight, good paddle weight, and just an overall good feeling hub. And lastly, in the good category, the backward compatibility. The fact that I can use this on my legacy wheelbases means that I don't have to buy a whole new wheelbase just to use the EVO Racing ecosystem. I think that's great. I wish more companies would do that. I think it's a phenomenal idea to keep their existing customer base happy. They're not just thinking forward and forcing you into a corner of buying their T818. If you happen to have one of the legacy belt drive wheels, or many of the legacy belt drive wheels, you're good to go and can order this EVO Racing leather wheel. So very cool. Well done, Thrustmaster. And in the neutral category, things I'm just kind of okay with. The first one is the fact that this came to market ahead of the rest of the ecosystem. So they are going to bring different paddles eventually to market, but it would be nice if this had shipped with like a flat bottom wheel. I said square wheel earlier, I meant flat wheel. It would have been nice if this had shipped, not with, but concurrently with offering a flat wheel or offering an open top wheel or something like that. Different options, because it feels weird to me to introduce an ecosystem and just have one offering. So I feel like they could have waited just a little bit longer and got a bit more product out there to help support the ecosystem. So that falls into the neutral category. Right now, if you're interested, you only have one option. So that's unfortunate, but not a bad thing. I know they will eventually ship more, but for right now, you just have the one option. And also in the neutral category, the button numbering, I talked about this earlier. It's unfortunate that all it says is 1 through 13, or is it 1 through 10? Whatever it is, it's just numbers. And why this didn't ship with stickers that say traction control, ABS, that kind of thing, I don't know. And the one they did choose is drink. Of the 3 stickers they actually put on there that are driving functions, drink is one of them. So very strange choice. Is it going to ruin the experience? No, of course not. How often do you look down? Very rarely. But it would have been nice if they had shipped some proper stickers with this 32R leather. Right now, it's just kind of a goofy choice. So a great wheel overall. But yeah, unfortunately, the stickers come up a bit short. And in the bad category, things I don't like about the wheel, I got nothing. And I don't usually like to do that because I get accused of being a shill. Again, I'll just let you know, no money changed hands, and whether they sell 0 of these or 1 million, I don't earn a penny. So I have nothing bad to say about this wheel. I think it's great. There's a couple of things in the neutral category, things that could improve upon, but things that ruin it for me, there's nothing. It's just a solid all-around offering. I don't think it's revolutionary, but frankly, not everything that comes to market has to be revolutionary. You can just be very good. You don't have to change the game. You can just be really good at that game. And I think this is what the 32R leather is for me. It's just a really good offering. So I have nothing in the bad category. It does everything quite well, frankly. So very happy with it. And to bring things to a close here, just my final thoughts. Again, I think it's just a great multi-purpose / all-purpose wheel is this 32R leather. I could see you using this for a bunch of different styles of driving. Rally probably chief among them. You could use this for road cars, NX5 cup cars, that kind of thing, anything with a round wheel. And it just feels solidly made. The paddle shifters feel really great. The buttons and encoders feel really great. So I'm very, very happy with this offering. Plus it's backward compatible. So yeah, I really like this offering, and I look forward to more in the EVO Racing lineup. I think this is a promising direction for Thrustmaster. I hope they can tie this in with a lower direct drive offering, something in the like $500-ish range. Give me 6 or 7 Newton meters and this wheel, and I'll be good. That's all most drivers need, frankly. So hopefully they can take the T818 strategy to its next step and offer something kind of as a lower down CSL-DD competitor type thing, Moza R5 competitor, and great wheels like this are just going to further bolster that. So great to see Thrustmaster coming back strong in recent years, and I think this is further proof of that. This is a great wheel. Well done to Thrustmaster. Thank you guys for sending me this for review. Thank you to you for watching my review, and we will see you next time.